Hello, friends. I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's fantastic. Everything here is great. Slowly getting my voice back. I don't have a whole lot to talk about yesterday or today. I don't have a topic or anything, but as I was setting the camera up and turning it on, I realized last night was the first night I've had like I had nothing to do in a very long time. I would say that generally, I have a lot of downtime in my life. I I used to be a workaholic. Like, I would go to work, I would come home and work on side projects. I think we all know that at this point. Like, that was my entire life, was trying to figure out a way to break out of poverty, to break out of whatever situation I'd found myself in, and I was going to pursue, whatever. For a long time, that was graphic design, game design. I did a lot of stuff like that. I poured a whole lot of energy into YouTube in the early years. I had the gaming channel. I was doing videos over there. I was trying all the things to try to find my voice, not necessarily my creative voice, but to try to find my outlet to figure out how to become successful. And that caused a lot of problems in my life. It caused a lot of issues with you know, my ex-wife. It caused issues with my children. It caused a lot. So I've spent the last 4 or 5 years. I mean, since M's come into my life, M has tried to teach me how to be, how to just. It's okay. Like, we got this, right? And how to relax. And so I've spent a good portion of the last few years learning how to be bored, learning how to not have 1,000 plates in the air, learning how to relax and enjoy downtime. I've never been good at it, and I'm still not. But last night I had nothing. For the last month or so, I've had my kids every week, or we've had meetings and soccer or meetings and doctor's appointments and softball, and I've been traveling all over the place. I mean, it's been nonstop. And last night I had nothing to do. My oldest is here. But she's an adult at this point and kind of does her own stuff, and so I don't really have to dote on her constantly. But we hung out a little bit, did some stuff, but I didn't have to go anywhere. I didn't have to drive. I didn't have to be anything. I made dinner. That's about it. So it was really interesting because, especially coming off like a really intense 2 weeks. I had a really intense 2 weeks. My youngest stayed with me. Well, so this is my oldest on week. Last week was supposed to be an off week, but my youngest asked to stay because we had games every night last week, plus last week was state testing, and their school's pretty close to where I live, not close at all to where their mom lives, so they wanted to they wanted to be able to sleep a little extra, get up, go to school, do their testing, all that sort of stuff. So these last 2 weeks in particular have been nonstop, literally just game after game, practice, driving here, driving there. And it's weird when, in the moment you're just like, I'll get it done, whatever it is. I'll make dinners so I can take with me. I'll have something in the crock pot so when we get home we can eat. I'll figure all that stuff out. I'll do my job. I'll figure out how to do my side job. I had almost no time for my side job last month. I think I maybe billed 20 hours for the whole month when normally I'm doing like 15 hours a week. So I had very little time to devote to that till last month. Hopefully this month I'll get some time in, but we do have other things going on. So it's been crazy, but I found myself like, I was sitting on the couch last night, like, well, now what? What do I do? Do I work? Do I just veg out? What do I do? It was a really weird feeling. It's kind of that, like, I think we talked years ago about that coming off of a video game, like when you finish a big, heavy, intense role-playing game, something that you've dumped 80 hours into, and then it's over, and you're like, now what do I do with my life? It was a very similar situation last night. I ended up playing a little bit of video games. I talked to M for a good bit. Like I said, I did a few things with the kid. I cooked dinner. But it was just like, huh, I don't think that in the moment of doing all of that stuff, of doing all of the running, of doing all of the cooking and cleaning and keeping things on task and on schedule, there's just no time to stop and really think about, is there something I would rather be doing? because the truth is no. Like, I would rather be doing dad stuff. I would rather be doing, helping my kid do whatever they need to do to take care of their future, right? Or even if it's not their future, I'm not going to put that on my kid and say they have to continue playing soccer or they have to continue playing softball because that's their future. I'm not putting that on them. But if that's what they want to do, I'm here for it, and let's go. But there's a moment when you're like, well, like last night where I'm just, okay, I don't have any of that stuff to do. I have a moment to myself. What do I want to do? And I couldn't really come up with anything. There's a lot of things I want to do right now. I'm just not in the headspace for them. I want to finish the train game. I have a new iteration that I need to test. I haven't had a chance to have anybody over to test it. I could have gone to game night last night. I chose not to. It was a choice not to go, just because it was. I needed that break, So hopefully soon I'll get the train game back out. I need to put together a new prototype because I'm adding some components, changing some things, so I need to tweak it some before testing again. But I'm hoping that this next version is close. It's a little bit more convoluted than I want it to be. It's slightly more involved, and maybe this next test will help me iron some of that out. I would like for it to be, not Ticket to Ride simple, but also not, like an 18xx complexity. I would like for it to be a simple game, a simpler game, like a Settlers of Catan, where there's some interesting, intricate rules, but it's not just because I needed to insert something to make it work. So I want to work on that. I want to work on my bench. I want to work on a story that I've been working on for a little while now. I want to work on some film ideas. You guys have given me some really good film ideas. I want to work on some of that. So there's lots to work on, but I chose to be bored. I chose to just chill, and it was the right choice. Sometimes just chilling is the right choice. So I didn't have anything to talk about. I guess I did. I always have something to talk about. That's how we've been doing this for 7 freaking years. There's only so much you can plan, but when you're doing this for this long, you just come up with something to talk about. Thanks for being around so that I can do that. For keeping me going. It's really, truthfully, your encouragement that helps push it along. Otherwise, I think I would just kind of, I think I would just be a cynic about this, and I don't want to be. I'm having much more fun being positive lately. We had a long period of everything was wrong. I'm really enjoying being happy on camera. I hope to continue being happy on camera. I'll let you know how that goes. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know sound smart is raconteur. It is a noun meaning someone who enjoys telling stories, does so frequently, and is good at it. O'Hara writes a poetic one-man band shifting rapidly among his roles as raconteur, sexual adventurer, and European traveler. Edward Mendelsohn, a professor of English and comparative literature at Columbia University. Raconteur. Maybe it's raconteur? I don't know. Raconteur. I mean, the pronunciation guide puts the emphasis on the rack part, but I would say it's raconteur. I don't know. I have no idea.